The grey wolf is an endangered species in Finland. There are only about 400 of them left, and yet the government decided to allow 100 of them to be hunted. How did we get here? I'm gonna paint a wolf with watercolor while reading some wolf-related folklore and discussing their current situation. I made a sketch on grid paper using a Wikimedia wolf photo and some other stock photos as references. I transferred the sketch onto watercolor paper and started painting in layers. While the grey wolf is estimated as a species of least concern worldwide, it was estimated to be an extremely endangered species in Finland in 2019, and it has been protected in Finland since 1973. At the start of the 20th century, there were hardly any wolves left in Finland, and they returned to southwest Finland only in the 21st century, where they were indeed needed to control the white-tailed deer population. Wolves also control moose populations, which in turn leads to less car crashes. And wolves keep these populations healthier by killing the sick individuals. And the carcasses they leave help birds and other predators. The threat and reason for endangerment is hunting and poaching. Human is the only enemy of wolves. They have no natural predators. The legal hunting limits keep the population at a size that just fulfills the endangerment criteria, and on top of that, there's also the illegal hunting, because there's downright hatred towards wolves in Finland. The hatred goes so far that even wolf researchers received death threats. The current population was started by a small number of wolves, so the population is highly inbred and susceptible to random factors. That and the small population size make the population more vulnerable. The government even decided to enable trophy hunting. So hunting is incentivized by giving the hunters medals based on how big the skulls of the wolves they hunted are. So people can get medals for hunting endangered animals. Where does the hate come from? Are wolves dangerous to humans? It's very rare that a wolf would attack a human, and when it happens, it's mainly because the wolf has rabies. The last Finnish victim was a 5-year-old child in 1881. In recent years, there haven't even been that many wolf sightings. The most harm wolves cause to humans is killing farm animals or pets, and in Finland, that's mainly reindeer. One way to prevent these damages is wolf fences. I looked for wolf-related Finnish folklore from this folktale book, and it's pretty telling of the hostile attitude towards wolves that the only tales I found were about turning people into werewolves as punishment. The first one is set in Karelia at the Russian border. A great wizard dropped by a house on his travels, and there happened to be a wedding going on. There were a lot of people and no one paid attention to the stranger wearing dusty clothes. It was crowded and someone accidentally bumped into him and told the old man to get out of his way. The wizard got angry, went home and started doing some magic. The loud wedding was heard far and wide, until it suddenly got completely quiet. The man told his daughter to go check what they were doing at the wedding house. She came back and said they were all just standing. Soon the man told his daughter to go check again. She said they're just standing around and looking at each other. And when she went to check on them for the third time, she said they're on the floor on all fours. When she came back for the final time, she said they've all turned into wolves. They're howling and everyone else is too scared to go in. Some of the wolves had rings on their toes and some had a red pelt on their stomach. The wizard was retrieved and hurried into the wedding house. He was promised a big prize if he reversed his magic and turned the wedding guests back into people. And in a few minutes everything was back to normal. The wizard got good money and he was seated in the middle of the wedding guests at a prime spot. And the party went on. In the second folktale, a boy's father had died and an evil stepfather came into the house. He hated the boy despite him being a good and devoted kid. The stepfather would pull all kinds of evil tricks to get the boy to curse him and give him a reason to punish the kid. The stepfather would throw cold water on the boy's bed early in the morning and push over his bed. But the evil had no power over someone who blesses themselves first thing in the morning, like this boy. The stepfather really wanted to turn the boy into a wolf. He set the boy's bed on fire, figuring out that would make him jump out of bed before doing the blessing. And so it did. So when the boy jumped out of bed, the stepfather turned him into a wolf, drove him to the woods, and yelled after him, "You'll be in the woods for 7 years. If you manage to find a place to sleep here after those 7 years, you'll turn back into a human." The boy lived with wolves in the woods for 7 years, and when the time came, this werewolf left his pack and galloped towards his home. He went round the house and outbuildings, but every door was closed and locked. Only the coal booth was open, and that's where the boy went to sleep for the night. The stepfather was a blacksmith by profession, and he went into his workshop already at 2 a.m. and went to get some coal from the coal booth. That's when he saw the boy lying on the floor. He had almost turned into a human during the night, he only had a wolf's tail left. Even that would have fallen off by the morning. So the boy was left with the tail. They tried to pull it off, but it didn't help. Cutting it would have killed the boy. They even had to make a hole in the middle of the chair so he could put his tail through it before sitting down. Wasn't that funny? "How was your life as a wolf?" he was asked. He answered, cheerfully by now, "It was fine in the summer with all the berries and fish and other things to eat, but I had to starve during the winter." The boy said he still smelled like a human, so he couldn't be among the real wolves when they gathered together to howl. And he couldn't go with them to drink from the puddles because his human shadow would have shown in the water. Speaking of berries, wolves do actually flavor their food with lingonberries, so I wanted to add some of those into the painting. There's also a plant called wolfsberry in Finnish, and in German the English name is the herb baris or true lover's knot. It looks like a giant blueberry. But the reason it's called wolfsberry in Finnish is that it was once considered such a good bait for wolves that even one berry was enough to kill a wolf. It's also toxic to humans, but birds can eat it and disperse the seeds. I also added paw prints. I was thinking of turning this painting into a pattern and thought the paw prints and lingonberries would look nice between the wolf heads. Besides watercolor, I tried using colored pencils for adding more contrasting black for the eyes and for drawing the fur. The white in this colored pencil set didn't really stand out on the dark watercolor though. I also used black micron pens for some of the black details like the eyes and whiskers. Now, coming back to the diminishing wolf population, there is a citizen initiative to make the grey wolf a protected species year-round again in Finland, so that exceptions could be made only as a last resort for individual wolves that cause a safety threat or harm to property that cannot be otherwise prevented. I thought I was done with the painting already, but I wasn't really happy with the snout and the shading around the cheeks, so I added a little shading in the middle and some white hair with white acrylic paint higher on the cheeks. And it kind of fixed what was wrong with the face. So I think this was an okay first try for painting a wolf. But if you want to know how Finland tried to hunt another very endangered species to extinction, watch this video next. See you there!